Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a little bit of a podcasty. I don't think I am going to do cards today. I think I just need to talk things through and talk things out in terms of the energy for today. I'm also doing I'm just like a little like all over the place. So not even in a bad way, but just more so like I feel like Spirit has put a lot of energetic stuff on my plate and I kind of need to exhale it and take it off, but also in a way where it is describing the energies of today. I feel like it's very interesting because the moon is in Virgo, right? And Virgo is about being by yourself. It's about hermit mode. It's about, and it's like wild because, and it's about perfection, right? Like it's really, it's like kind of control / perfection and or aiming for perfection. And I think I'm just here to ease myself along with you guys to basically let you know that it's very interesting because we're going through this transition from Libra into Scorpio, okay? And the moon, like I said, is in Virgo. And it's kind of sort of wild in terms of the ride that it took me on, like from this morning. There's new energies coming in and or new things that you're trying out. So there's just a lot, and like here's the thing, with all this newness you want it to go right, you know, you want it to be good, you want it to be quality, right? And there's like a kind of like a lot of maybe even whatever, maybe not last minute planning, but maybe it is because something does come up, right, like last minute. And this is interesting because I feel like it applies in two ways, but you guys, you know, figure out in which ways that it comes up. Like I feel like it comes up twice today. So, and I feel like along with you kind of figuring out what's going on in your world and how to make it better, you guys are kind of like, you guys are trying to figure out like, okay, so planning ahead for the future, because today is also a feng shui day of, that I have labeled it to be as future, creativity, and childlike. And so the whole thing is, and the color here is usually orange, but also it fades into white and or gray, all right? So it could be like a light orange too. And so what I want to say is like, so there's like so much creativity, so much transition, so much letting go of the fear and transmuting it into all divine love. Even if like I just feel like there's a lot of positivity coming at you, and with all this Virgo energy being in the moon position, like I feel like, or talking about the moon position, I feel like it's you're really trying to breathe through it. Like I just feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna describe like what kind of has been happening with me today, where it's like, okay, let's say you're a person that just naturally likes to be not hungry but like empty, you know what I'm saying? Like just in terms of just like you like to feel the fresh start. So it's not really like you're starving yourself, but it's just like your creativity kind of works best on an empty stomach. That's what I'm trying to say. And so if you are that type of person that kind of doesn't, you know, that kind of is used to that, today is a day where it's like, if you don't do something with your energy that is kind of, you know, making you flow in a creative sense, it's like you kind of feel like you stop breathing, and it's really weird. It's like, it's kind of like you have to kind of talk yourself to like rebreathe again, you know what I'm saying? And the whole thing is, so it's kind of like, so yeah, so it's just like there's like a pause in breath, but I also feel like it's because you're kind of like a little slightly scared, but also you're like scared to receive all of this really good energy, you know? And not only that, but I feel like because maybe you're in such hermit mode, like there might be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to express it. It's like you rather just kind of like stick to like what you know. It's like this kind of comfort zone-ish area. And so with the new coming in, it's a little like, it's kind of like stop and go. Like, you don't know whether you should go. You don't know. I don't know. It's like really interesting. And so, this is coming from a person that's really excited for new change all the time, you know? But this I've never felt before in my life. Like, it's just a lot of like new transition, new, you know, spirit literally has you. And the thing is, here's like the key is like, I'm gonna have to drink some water. Here's the essence. Like, you might have everything, you might be so fully prepared, like more than you know, where it's like you don't really even need to you are basically allowed to tend to the topical things and things that really shouldn't stress you out, because you have been so on the ball with things. Like, you have done your best to, you know, do as much as you can with, you know, keep like putting all of your ducks in a row, like for when this time came about where it's like, okay, you get to go play now, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, now that the play is coming through, and this could be also for you guys maybe putting on a play, but this is also for you guys being all too responsible and now like getting the chance to play, or like putting yourself out there, even if it comes down to like company stuff. Like, you know, if you own a company and you're putting yourself out there, it's like basically there's a leap going on where you've tended to all the background office stuff, like everything that you can possibly tend to is what you tended to. You really kind of experience those type of closeouts, and now it's like, oh my god, you get to go fucking bring it to the world. Like, you get to go bring your gifts to the world. You get to, like, instead of preparing all the time, it's like you get to go play, you get to go have fun, you get to go, you know, experience new stuff. And even though I love experiencing new stuff, the transition is huge. Like, it really is. It's so huge, and the opportunity, I feel like, is super huge. That like it's something that you're not even used to, but it's kind of like what your energy was always putting out there. Like, oh, when this happens, I need to have this. When this, so you were like preparing. You were even maybe in a sense, you were kind of like nesting for the preparation of something big to happen. And I do feel Spirit's telling me it's like big time career stuff that's happening, and it's especially so like with people that I feel like haven't, like, they have so much potential for the big career stuff, but they just haven't like landed what they kind of deserve just yet. Like, they've been waiting on these kind of either opportunities and or you know, just nesting, like I said, preparing. So like, let's say you had one client, right, and that client made you learn a lot of new things, so you set yourself up even better, and now it's kind of like, okay, you know kind of what to do, and you're like definitely open to the flow of it all, but also it still is scary. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how exactly like how it is. Like, this is crazy. I love jumping out of planes, right? I do. I love it. And I haven't done it in a while, but I can tell you right now, the first time I jumped, I didn't know what it was going to feel like. I didn't know any of the feelings. I didn't know what was waiting for me. Of course, you like rationally know, but you really kind of truly don't know the experience until you live it, right? So I guess I was scared, but I had nothing to compare to in terms of the scariness, you know, of it. And then basically, hold on one second, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. And then it's like when I jumped the first time, you have nothing to compare it to, so you're like, okay, everything's like, you know, all aglow, right? And then the second time I went jumping, I was like, so the first time I was ready to actually even throw myself out of the plane myself. Like, that's how like, okay, I'm super like, this is gonna be cool, you know? the second time, and the first time I went first, right? The second time, I like literally, I couldn't go first. Like I was super, like, it's kind of like I knew what the feelings were, and I wasn't even thinking. Like it was just like more so feeling. But I think my body realized like the second time like what the fuck was going on, and so I froze. You know what I'm saying? And like the body kind of had like, I guess like muscle memory to be like, oh bitch, no, you fucking crazy right now to be doing this when you already fucking did it once before, you know? But so like that's how I feel. I feel like it's all good. Like you're experiencing these like new heights, and you've possibly experienced them like before, but like this time you kind of know what to expect, so you're like a little bit even more scared, even though you know everything's gonna be fine. Like you're prepared, you're ready to go. You know, you're doing your best to even prepare even more until like kind of the last minute. So it's like, you know, and you're trying to perfect your craft is what I'm trying to say. Like you're really trying to like use all the time up until, I guess, like the moment you have to, you know, quote unquote leave your house, which is the moment of, I want to say, equivalent to jumping out of a plane. Like when you cross that threshold, like I feel like, all right, you're like, you're shit scared right now. You're gonna like, but you're still gonna do it. Like there's no turning back. Once you fall out of a plane, you can't go back, right? So that's basically what it is. Like you're crossing a threshold once you kind of leave the comfort zone of your own house today, and then it's like there's no turning back, and you know you're open to, you know, the beautiful change, but at the same time it really is super, it really is super, I'm gonna just say even phenomenally like super scary to think about, right? So yeah, so that's what's going on. I really, like, I also feel like my legs are giving out, funny enough. Like I feel like there's like tension in my back, tension in, like my body just like wanted to like butterfly my legs open earlier. And it's really interesting because the butterfly is all about that Scorpio, you know, what is it called? Scorpio vibes, where it's like your like transformation. The butterfly is equivalent to transformation. And also, since Scorpio in the tarot symbolizes the death card, we're talking about a lot of spirit activity right now. Like we're talking about, if you can feel it, you are gonna feel a lot of it. Like, and why I want to talk about the butterflies, because when you are a person that feels spirit, when you are a medium of sorts, right? You literally could be getting so much anxiety because of the transition, right? Double transition, because we're going into Scorpio, which is transition, or transformation rather, and also transition, right? Same fucking thing, really, I guess, close enough. And then we're like experiencing a lot of death vibes, which is kind of like endings and new beginnings. It doesn't always have to mean like for real death, right? But it also could mean that you're really feeling spirit, like you're feeling them around you. And long story short, I just feel like your body is going into the butterfly mode, because when you stretch your pelvis out, like in a butterfly stretch, you're actually releasing a lot of the tension that you could be collecting or taking up through your body. So like today, like my body just wanted to fucking whiplash out in terms of like, you know, quote unquote spreading my legs, but like in a good way. But like that's basically what happened. It was like I can't take it anymore. It's like you're I think it's more so maybe to describe it a little bit better is like your caterpillar like self is like busting through its cocoon, like it's like done here, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like all you caterpillar like and yet you kind of sort of don't feel done, like you feel like, which is really good, you feel like an undercooked brownie or an undercooked, you know, cookie or something like that, right? Which is like, honestly, it's like you know, you're not you're not fully prepared, but like it's the best way to do it because of the fact that it's like super yummy, like if you do it that way, you know what I'm saying, rather than being like, okay, let's do it perfect and let's just, you know, wait until I'm like really fucking ready to do this. But then it's like, no, you know that you're really not that ready, but you're gonna fucking do it anyway, you know. And like, and it's, or this is kind of like, if we're talking about pregnancy, this is like a baby like being born like before its due date, like that type of thing. Like it's not done cooking, but it's like ready to go anyway, you know. So the vibes are like for real like that. Like I can't even express to you how, and it's like it's quote unquote really scary for some reason, and I can't, that's the best way to describe it, is like you kind of know, your soul kind of knows what's going on, but you're also like really hesitant to do it because like you're liking your comfort zone, you're liking the dark, you're liking the whatever. But I have to say I'm very grateful to Spirit because I was feeling so much tension before, and I was like, yo, Spirit, like I don't know what this is, but you're gonna have to take it, because it was so it like, so I was like, either I have to cry it out or I have to like sing it out, or I have like, I don't know what it was, but I was like, this needs to be taken from me and transmuted. It was like a whole bunch of fear, right? Fear of like a whole bunch of things, like I guess not going right or not going perfect, and or like, you know, maybe even having a lot to do with parental, you know, parental like letting go-ness, like not non-codependency. Like for instance, do I talk about it? Okay, yeah, this is super huge. I was watching the show. Let me just take a water break for a second. Okay, so I was watching the show, and this girl went and she had a lot of mother issues, right? And I want to say that like ever since she was little, she was like comparing herself how she's not as good as her mom, right? And her mom was like skinny or like fit, you know, and beautiful, and she could sing, right? And this girl ended up being like a heavy-set adult, right? Where, you know, completely like just is not the perfect daughter that her mother wanted, and it was very loud, right? And long story short, this girl got a gig, right? Where she went to go, and one of her dreams, by the way, was to sing even when she was younger, but she like noticed that like she had one song that she was gonna sing in school, and because she felt like she was not as good as her mom, she like caught her mom like singing in the shower one day the song that she was gonna sing at school. And I guess like she sang it so beautifully that, and like her mom like didn't know that this was all going on, but she caught her mom singing in the shower one day, and then she just like let go. Like she didn't feel good enough, she didn't feel adequate, so she was like, you know what, Mom, I don't feel good, my like, you know, my throat hurts, like I'm not gonna sing this year, right? And she was like, okay, you know, like, you know, the mom was totally understanding, like no big deal. And then when she was older, she literally was called to do a gig, and she had put her mind to it, and she really told nobody about it. And like her boyfriend, for instance, knew about it because her boyfriend was very like uplifting to her, but her like she didn't want her mom coming because like it can throw a person off, especially emotionally, right? When like when singing really has a lot to do with a whole bunch of emotion, right? Like you are singing out your emotions when you are singing, right? So long story short, she was like, so she didn't want to bring somebody to come watch her that didn't make her feel comfortable, right? When she's already kind of putting herself out there in a very yang-like way, right? So, but what ended up happening was, long story short, and I don't know what my point of this story is, but it'll come, is that she got a phone call. She said she needed to go. Her boyfriend ended up saying, hey, I gotta go. Her boyfriend was like with the family or whatever, and she didn't want anybody to come. But he's like, you know what, I'm still gonna go because I want to show her support. She doesn't have to know I'm coming, but I'm gonna be there. which I thought that was so phenomenal. It's very cute, even though I'm like her. I'm like this girl that like I would sing, but like I don't want anybody showing up. Like literally, I'm the same way. And so long story short, so she ended up going on stage, and like right before she started singing, her mom comes in following after her fiance. And fuck, she was like, you can like tell, like emotionally, she was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy, you know? But she kind of ignored it, and she like did it anyway. And I think maybe that's the point that I'm trying to say is like, you're taking a really big leap today that you don't want anybody to know about. You feel like you want to do this yourself. You feel like you don't want to struggle through it either. That's why you're not even telling anybody about it. In terms of just like, you know, you want to deal with it yourself because you are creating the memory for you, if that makes any sense. And that's exactly what she said. That's what helped me, is she said that to her mom. She said, you know, I'm not going to remember it like the way that like a fresh clean slate, like how she perfectly wanted to do it in her mind. But she was like, and she's like, now I'm going to like just remember this day as like not just me singing, but like you having to be there to like kind of quote unquote fuck it up. She said it in a better way. I forgot what she said to her, right? And she was like, and, you know, and so she was like pissed, and she like walked out because, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, that sometimes when boundaries are set up, they're not meant for other people. They're meant for like the person setting up the boundaries. So it's like, listen to the boundaries. Don't show up when somebody asks you, because that's like called respect, and has nothing to do with haterade on anybody's part, but it's more so like, just let a bitch live for a second so that she can feel the vibes, enjoy the vibes, know the vibes, get accustomed to it. And then like, obviously after some time, after some practice, maybe you can come, right? It's kind of like this. It's like a stand-up comedian. I feel like a stand-up comedian, if you were going to go to a stand-up comedian show, you're going to talk a lot about vulnerable shit. You know what I'm saying? And so you're not going to like call your parents out right away to be like, hey, mom and dad, come support me while I talk about my sex life. Like, you know, like if you're like normal, and I'm not going to say normal because like normal could be where you talk about sex with your parents or whatever, but my whole thing is like, some things are just meant for you. It's not meant for like, oh, just because, you know, whatever, she's a light, I have to go support her, or I have to go, you know, like, you know, kind of pique my interest, like basically, like tend to the piquing or of my interest or my curiosity. That's more like a selfish thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's interesting. That sounds fun. Like, you definitely want to be there. But like when a person asks you not to go, it's not even about you. It's about how they just want to keep it sacred. They want to keep it to themselves. They want to have something for themselves, you know? And so that's where I feel like, thank you, Spirit. That's where I feel like the spell breakers kind of like that, like sacredness to it, rather than, oh, like let's bring on one person of the family or the entire family. Or it's like, we just kind of want something to ourselves, and we want to see how we can analyze it without, I'm going to talk about this right now. I'm going to pause for a second and switch it up. My whole thing is, if you're a person, for instance, that feels weird when somebody shows up to your job, for instance, and I don't know why that fucking came up, but like I feel very weird when somebody that I know of shows up to my job and's like, hey T, what's up? And it's like, oh hey, like I'd rather not anybody be there. Like, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, I appreciate the support and the love, but like basically I think what I'm talking about is like more focus. Like, you don't want to lose the focus on having something go super well. And so, which is kind of crazy because today's a lot about like courageousness, which is creativity, and which is like Lottie, you know what I'm saying? but also there was something that I saw on Instagram before coming up, which was like coming on here, which was lions. Like there was like a pack of 3 lions that were like first of all, I don't know who the fuck like goes on these safari rides. I was gonna say Ferrari rides. That is so anyhow, Ferrari safari, I never put that shit together. That's hilarious. Imagine going on a safari ride in a Ferrari. Yo bro, I would fucking like, that would be crazy, right? That would be like way close to like animals for your own fucking good. But anyhow, that's so funny. So long story short, or vice versa, right? Like having the safari come to a Ferrari type of place. I don't know, maybe somebody needs to hear that. But anyhow, so what I wanted to say here is like I was watching like a fucking group of safarians, I guess, right? Which is hilarious because I feel like that translates into Jamaica, so it's like calm the fuck down. Which actually, holy shit, talking about the lion has a lot to do with Jamaica, dudes. That's crazy. I didn't even realize. Oh my god, this is so cool. So, by the way, as I'm saying Safarians, I'm also thinking Sephardic Jews. I don't know why that's coming up too. So it's kind of like there's a lot of maybe even, I don't know, there's a lot of like maybe Jewish vibes plus the lion. But also, let me just tell you something, both collide together as one. That is true. I didn't even realize, but that is true. So long story short, what I wanted to say is, and maybe you're a Jew, maybe you're a Sephardic Jew that's actually feeling it a whole fucking lot more today. I don't know what the fuck, because it could be that. But what I want to say here is people that were on the safari were a little too close for comfort, for my opinion, to these lions. Like because at any given time, a lion can fucking turn and pounce on you, bro. Like, I don't know what people are thinking. And they're like open, like safari rides. Like, put me in an enclosed safari ride any time of day. Like, I'm not dealing with these, God forbid, dude, But anyhow, so long story short, these 3 female lions were so tuned in and focused on something in front of them that they were not even kind of like, they were not even like, what's the word? They were not even like interested in seeing the safari Jeep next to them, but they were so honed in and zoned in. And that's what I think is coming up right now, is like, I think the people that are experiencing these new fucking high vibrational vibes that like are just, for the goodness of a lot of good shit, like, next chapter type of deal, next chapters type of deal, next book, I don't know. I feel like that's where you don't want anybody coming in, because it's like you're first of all, I said bae, so maybe there's a bae coming in, but like BAE. But long story short, maybe there's somebody coming in, right, that you just kind of want to be able to focus on what it is that you are. Thank you, universe. I love you, universe. It's 431 right now, 431 where I'm at, and you gotta just say I love you, universe, whenever that happens. And so long story short, I feel as though you just have to fucking breathe today. Like, today is like, you have to connect to spirit through your breath. It's like really big. It's a big fucking energy. And I feel like it's especially during the day, but at night the females will feel it. So it's kind of like, this is like prep life right now for the females who are up during the day right now. And at night is like, I think when you're gonna have to really get your ass into like focus mode for like what it is you're doing. And it's like, and it's all fun, and like it really is, it's all fun, and I'm gonna say games too, but it's also like you're being called to go to work, like you're being called to go to like a higher calling, right? To show up to your higher calling, and it might be for like a large number of people, right? So it's kind of like shit, like you don't know what the fuck is going on behind the scenes, but you know that behind the scenes you've done all the preparatory work that you possibly could have done like for yourself and for this gig, but at the same time it is scary. It's like heavily scary, you know. But the whole thing is, I'm gonna just say you're gonna get through it. You're gonna make life really beautiful, and I think that's what you are just trying to accomplish here. Is just like, can you make life beautiful? And you kind of need a lot of focus in order to do that. But also it is nerve-wracking, you know. Love you, universe. 433. So so I just wanted to express that. I think there are miracles coming. I think you're working with the notion and the energy of miracles. And I just think that, you know, we're transitioning into from like I said, Libra energies into Scorpio. And that it may not be such, you're going from mind to feeling, PS. Like, that's basically what it is. So you might be like coming out of your mind, like even if some of you are like losing your mind a little bit, to like deep feels. Like you're going from the top to the fucking, you know, like root chakra. Like this is like the complete opposite energies if you think about it. It's like you're going from your vision, your third eye, not that it's going anywhere, but like more so the concentration of it is going from your third eye to like the root chakra. So your head to fucking bottom of like your body, which is like your sexual energy, your root chakra, your sacral energy. So it's like your money maker, you know what I'm saying? But so yeah, so you might have went from like a spiritual you know, energy, and this is like a big deal, like where you might have been highly spiritual to now you're like also highly spiritual, because like I said, it's not going anywhere, but you're like really gonna be a serious money maker. Like it's happening. Like that's what's coming through. It's like it's happening. So it's I don't know. I feel like somebody's on this fucking quote unquote crazy safari ride, right? But also a safari ride that I feel like is like at a fucking carnival in the middle of a fucking jungle, and or in the middle of, you know, Africa, where anything can pounce at you and you're just like, yo, I'm going there like by foot. Like I just feel like that's how it feels. Like it feels like really intense. Like and Scorpio is an intense energy. So you're talking about like trying to deal with all the logistics, which can be like super nerve-wracking, right? And then you're like dealing with like mental logistics, but then also dealing with like how this is really a big leap, you know what I'm saying, of feels. And so you just have to breathe. You just have to breathe through it. You have to know that you're going to be okay. You have to know that you're not alone, and you have to know, and I'm talking about in the spiritual realm, and you have to know that you're going to make all the right intuitive decisions, even if, for instance, the last, like up until the last moment, like if you're like, let's say you're planning on doing something and you're like, yeah, I'm mentally in, you know what I'm saying? You could be mentally, wholesomely, totally, completely in, but like if spirit has different plans for you, you're gonna end up going with spirit's plans. Like it's not gonna be your plan, you know. The master plan is spirit's plan. The master plan is the lion energy plan. So it's like, hold on guys, that's literally like, there was a confirmation there. Give me 1 second. Hello? Oh. Sorry, I thought something happened. Anyhow, Spirit's saying I'm done. So thank you guys for hearing me out. This is, I think, the energy of today and possibly into tomorrow. So thanks for hearing me out. Thanks for listening to this on here on YouTube. And you know, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and also definitely for sure extra thank yous for sharing, because I love word of mouth everything. I think that is so important. Also super genuine, right? Like super way more genuine. So thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy these energies way more than I did, because I had no idea what the fuck was coming through. But like I said, breathe through it and you will get through it. So It's all good. You're doing your best, and you know, spirit knows when you are, and so that's all you can do. Literally all you can do in a situation is do your best, but also don't be scared of like not doing your best, right? Where it's like, if you just come as you are, which is bottom line basics, you've still showed up, right? And like, if you also show up and you don't like the feels of a space or a place and whatever, you can turn back around and fucking leave. Like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's not disrespectful. It's literally like, you came, you saw, you conquered. That's the thing. You came, you saw and felt, and conquering means that if you are getting that the vibes are not meant for you, and you're being truthful with yourself that the vibes are not meant for you, and you turn the fuck around, that's as courageous enough. That's as courageous, I want to say, as it is to stay and power through. Because powering through might not be might not be meant for you. You know what I'm saying? Powering through might be also even worse for you because you're ignoring your intuition. So you have to figure out whether wherever you're going, that you yourself and you are on your own side, and that you are literally going to just, you know, listen to yourself. Like, if you don't like the vibes of a place, you turn around and you go back home. But like, you came, you saw, you conquered, you were, you know. And it could be a little bit of a disappointment that, you know, you didn't power through, and or, you know, you like, you it wasn't meant for you. Like, those could be those two different vibes that like you might be a little bit disappointed to feel if it is that you, if it is a case where you're not supposed to be there. But the whole thing is, like, spirit sees what you're doing. Spirit knows your thoughts. Spirit, like, you know, knows that you've crossed the threshold of, let's say, from your household to the outside, to then the car, to then traveling there, to then, you know, making these, like, really, like, tougher decisions that, like, a lot of people are not, are not, like, privy to making sometimes. And sometimes it's for your own personal freedom, right? Which is basically what today is all about too. It's like, you know, it's feeling free, it's being free, it's be free, you know, to make your own decisions, to whether or not you can, you are, you know, like sometimes, for instance, like we feel disappointed when something's not meant for us. But what if we were to show up and say no to something, creating a boundary, and then turning back around? Like, that shows others that you're a fucking super G. Like, to those that are of the positive, like-minded, like, oh, I would never fucking say that, like, in terms of, like, I would never have the courage to say that, and, or to those that aren't understanding, then they would, or maybe disappointed, like you, in and of itself, like, they might also see it in a way of, like, damn, like, you know, they weren't able to power through, like, they might see you as weak, but those that see you as weak are not your people. That's what I have to tell you. You know, those that see you as weak in terms of, you know, your own self-love for yourself, which are making those tough decisions, are not, you know, it's okay. Like, it's okay if people don't think that you're tough, like, because a lot of the aspect of us in terms of being out in the world is not for other people. It's about what's meant for, like, are we taking the shots that are meant for us? You know what I'm saying? And so that's basically the only, I guess, purpose of us, like, being out in the world. It's not for other people, it's for us, like following through on, you know, to see if, like, we are the ones that are meant for the opportunity that has been brought to us. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you know ahead of time, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to just appear to where you're meant to appear, just first and foremost, just to maybe, you know, Spirit's always using you for the highest and best good. So maybe you have to, like, physically with your body go clear a space with your energy and replenish it with the new, and then turn back and, like, you know, fucking go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the worst case scenario. So just know that you allow yourself to always be able to free yourself up and not power through if the power through is not meant for you. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to let you know, it's not about what these, you know, traditional motherfuckers think of you in terms of like, oh, you know, she's weak, she couldn't like stay. It's like, no, I'm powerful because of the fact that I came, I saw and I felt and I conquered in terms of being true to myself. What do I feel out of the situation myself? What's meant for me? You know, it's that positive selfishness. It's like, you know, imagine you were to stay there and power through and like, you're gonna just fucking, and like that is your intention, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you're here to waste anybody's time, but like, what if you were to stay there and something, God forbid, fucking happened to you in terms of like an unsafety thing, or, you know, like you were like caught in, you know, fucking, I don't know, like anything could happen, like you were caught in the crossfire of fucking bullets or some shit, you know, like that's where, you know, like it takes me back to like 9/11, and I don't know why we're talking about 911 right now, but I'm just letting you know. For instance, Archangel Michael, thank you so much for shielding all of us that are going through these transitions, and also helping us to make the right decisions that are meant for us courageously and physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually and wholesomely, totally, completely, and 100%edly, you know, in terms of wherever we're going, let us know what is meant for us in the most healthiest and highest and best good type of way. And that's the prayer I wanted to put out. But it makes me think of like here's why I say all of this, is because, and I think this is the closing concept, is, you know, in 9/11, when people were calling out sick or not, or feeling that they were not meant to go to work that day, or were not, you know, like there was so many of these stories, you know, that basically they went with that intuition and they were able to stay alive. So it's kind of like you have to do that for yourself. Sometimes you have to work your intuition far away. Sometimes it has to be more closer up. Sometimes you have to be the midway where you show up and you say it's not for you and you're like, oh shit, sorry to disappoint, but fuck, I'd rather disappoint and stay alive than come through for somebody thinking that I said I was going to do something and then end up fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. So, and so, long story short, and I'm not putting that out there for anybody, by the way, I'm literally just using an example to let you know how fucking intuition is super powerful, and you have to listen to it, and it's scary when you don't. It's scarier when you don't listen to your intuition rather than listening to your positive intuition in terms of like your real life and your real like self, in terms of the intuition, to then, you know that it's on your side, know that it's working for you, you know, like, so the disappointment you might feel by backing off from some sort of agreement, rather, or argument, it doesn't matter, but agreement might just be it's a lot less than coming out with, like, God forbid something were to negatively happen to somebody physically or emotionally or mentally or spiritually, you know, like where you're just like, so, you know, you get so fucked because you tried to do the quote unquote right thing. The right thing, and always going to be the right thing, is listen to your intuition. If you have to be a bitch, you have to be a bitch. If you have to be a dick, you have to be a dick. It doesn't matter. You're listening to your intuition to help you with your survival, but also your thrival. That is your only coming, seeing, feeling, and conquering, right? And why I'm saying this is very interesting, because like I said, seeing and feeling right now is basically what we're transitioning from and to. So Libra season was vision, it was seeing. Now this Scorpio season is complete feeling, right? And so the whole thing is, and it's really feeling into what I want to say is the complete unknown. Libra season, I feel like, is more like planning wise, and you're like, you know, you're putting your visions out there, and Scorpio season is like, oh bitch, we are feeling into this, and now it's kind of like we have to act when intuition says we have to act, and we have to not act when intuition says we have to act. But even if we're in Scorpio vibes, feeling a whole lot, we then also have to feel the fucking, I want to say the results of our decisions that come from different things, which also fucking suck sometimes, but at the same time we're not feeling more than we have to, if we do just end up feeling disappointment out of, you know, coming, seeing, feeling, and conquering, you know? And yeah, and so don't be afraid if somebody's like, oh, what are you gonna do now? Like, you know, like they're questioning your, you know, like, what's your next move? Just don't be afraid to just say, you know what, I have no fucking idea, because you really, in this season, you have no idea. Everything is more so about, oh, I got just shock out of that one, like electricity, like down my back, up my upper back. So I just feel like you have no idea what's coming up, but you just know that you're being wise enough to go with your intuition. And so that, my friends, is how you're going to get through. Give me 1 second. Okay, Spirit's telling me to power off because I think I really need to at this point. But, alright, so just breathe through it, alright guys? Breathe through the changes. You're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. It's just a lot. So, it's deep. It's intense and it's deep. So, just, you know, just know that as you're going through life, you might be a spell breaker in your family, and this is just what you are fucking meant to handle right now. And that's basically all that it is. Not like anything bad or not, you know, negative. It's just uncomfortable. It's like growing pains. It's like uncomfortable, but it's all good. You're heading to somewhere all good. Yeah, and I feel like with these courage vibes, it's all about pride. It's all about really respect too. So if you have to make courageous decisions in the improper way, which other people would see as improper or discouraging or not of courage, just know that on the other side of the spectrum, you are creating some sort of self-respect and other people's form of respect for you. And that's basically what you have to kind of always side with, just the positive aspect of things, because like I said, the people that see you in a weaker essence after you go through what you need to go through in order to make certain decisions, they're not your people. That's basically what it is, you know? So don't never be afraid to disappoint those type of people at all. And those type of people are, I think, are the ones that we're mostly scared of, because or even the society-based thinking where it's like, oh, if she doesn't come through, she's like a flake. And it's like, no, that's not, you know, with the moon in Virgo, you might end up being a flake because you might end up seeing something different in the night when you kind of go with your own, I'm getting headlights, but also when you go with your own kind of, what is it called? Like, not a trail light, but like, it could be a flashlight, it could be a, I was gonna say lantern of a light, you know? So it's kind of like, but also I want to say moon in Virgo really you have to kind of do something alone, and I think maybe that's what is like maybe a little double scary. It's like, oh shit, you're gonna have to do this alone, you know what I'm saying? And it could just take place at night, and it's not, you know, because Scorpio vibes, a lot of stuff is taking place at night, so it could be a little creepster, you know, but like, dude, it could be really fun if you get there. So try it, you know, it'll be if anything, it's a new experience, and you know, it's for the fun ride of it all, but also just go with your intuition, you know? So yeah, Spirit's saying it could be a little creepy, but we are in October vibes, so like, you know, fucking, it's all good. It's all good. Just like, just embrace the good type of creepy vibes. If you feel any type of like negative lingering vibes, you're gonna A, have to tell it to fuck off, or B, you're really gonna have to check in with your intuition to be like, all right, is this for me? If it's not, I need to go home and be alone in the Virgo, you know, in the Virgo vibe. So my whole thing is live your life naturally in terms of like how it's unfolding. But if Virgo vibes tells you to go home and be alone because you can't handle all the energy, that's okay too. You have to honor yourself, you know? You have to honor the natural energies of the universe, but also you yourself and you in the same respect, and also kind of simultaneously. And sometimes it has nothing to do with you, you know? So it's more so like what you just need to do for spirit is what I'm trying to say. So, alright guys, enjoy life, have so much fun with it, try to live it to its maximum, and if not, that's okay, you tried even just a little bit, and that's all that matters. So anyhow guys, take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!